Hey, I'm Ray Evernham. Come on out to Mooresville Dragstrip on September 29th, Saturday night. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the Grand Marshal. I'm going to be hanging out with the Southeast Gassers. They go fast, so get there quick.
David Lancaster, Paradise Dragway, Calhoun, Georgia. If you want drag racing history and some drag racing excitement, the sight and sounds of the Southeast Gassers Association, this is the place to be.
It is the place to be. Such a storied history here, going all the way back to our Grand Marshal today, Bogan Renfro, and the Cat Skinner, and his classic battles with Gene Cromer and the Moonlighter. I mean, this racetrack is chock full of history.
And we are only so blessed to get to be here and get to conduct one of our Southeast Gasser Association events on this hallowed ground.
It really is, and the track is shaping up to be a pretty good track for us today. With the power that our cars put out, it's going to be a test to see who can apply that power, and that's what drag racing's all about, applying that power equally down the racetrack. So it's going to be an interesting view today.
This is a facility that's not, maybe doesn't have the traction that some of the ones we go to, but trust me, that's only going to add to the authenticity of what we do, because during testing, we've got guys up here spinning, but they're driving these cars. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most, may not be the best drag race we've had this year, but I'm going to bet you it's going to be one of the most exciting.
It really is, and to the people that are here, they know the history of drag racing, and so that's what's really making this a rich drag race with everything we see. We've had numerous people come up to us already. Been watching you guys, can't wait for you to get here. So glad you're here, and we're glad to bring this race to them today.
It shouldn't be too very long before Mr. Bogan Renfro himself will do the Grand Marshal starting of this event, so I say let's get out of the way and let it happen.
I'm ready to see history. Let's roll them.
Let's do it.
And rolling we're doing, Mitch, as you see Todd Oden rolling into the lights right there, taking on Rick Cathcart in round number one.
Todd Oden wasting no time getting down this drag strip. Him and Rick Cathcart, pretty good matchup. However, Todd taking the win, advancing his points lead that he, or at least building on that tie points that he had coming into this race with the old Crazy Horse 56 Chevrolet. Kevin Shaw, the Odd Rod, and Leslie Horn in that Chevy 2. David, Leslie coming on board with us this year in that Chevy 2, and you talk about a high winding small block that's making power and making numbers. Just watch this right here.
Yeah, no secret to why he's the number one qualifier in that 292. There's Johnny Royals right there, the fiddle picker out of Griffin, Georgia. He's going to take on Cynthia Phillips, the Flower Power car, and let's see what happens right here, Mitch.
David, this should be a good drag race. Two pretty equally matched cars. You got a Marine vet, I believe that Johnny was right there taking on the Flower Power. Cynthia Phillips taking that win, and just watch this lady row through that 4-speed transmission.
She's doing a great job in her maturity here in the Southeast Gassers. Continues to show right there in the margin of victory. The young blood, Josh Pruitt, going to take on B.B. Brown, the hometown guy right there out of Dalton, Georgia. B.B. Brown, a promoter here at Paradise Dragway, and one of the main reasons we're here today. And look at him pull those wheels off the ground. He's got a big job ahead of him. Can he take out Josh Pruitt?
BB left the starting line with a vengeance, but something going on here that car could not maintain that. But however, that is a face right there of determination. If that would win a drag race, I do believe he would have won this one. Quite a good shot from inside that car. Jimmy Huff
taking on Bryant Dalton out of Dandridge, Tennessee in the Glory Bound. Good to see Jimmy Huff burning those hides down here in his home state of Georgia.
David, it is good to see Jimmy back. He missed the past race in Alabama. His wife, I think, was maybe having some medical issues. We certainly hope and pray that she's doing better. Good drag race ride here, all Jimmy Huffs. Brian just didn't have anything for the Huff Mobile.
Good matchup right here was a couple of beautiful race cars. There's Larry Noel in the Crazy Horse. Going to take on Travis Owen out of Atlanta, Georgia in the Born to Boogie.
1955 and 1956 represented here in these two Chevrolets, and it looks like the Crazy Horse is just galloping away.
There you see Larry Noel pulling away from the beginning and marching on to victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm catching up with Bogan Renfro, who is the Grand Marshal of the Southeast Gassers event here in Calhoun, Georgia at Paradise Dragstrip. And what a treat it is to catch Bogan and Gene Cromer sitting over here having small talk or talking about the past, because there has to be so much past between you two and this great sport of drag racing and the resurrection of the Moonlighter, and you gave him some parts off of the old Cat Skinner, Bogan. I mean, you know, what an honor it is to have you here, and what brought you out today? Are you still active in racing in any kind of a way, or just kind of keeping up with the history?
Keeping up with the history, and I'm building a 41 Willis that I've had 52 years and building it for a street rod mainly. Okay. And I just enjoy hanging out with Gene and this gasser group whenever they're close in my neighborhood where I can come, and they'd call me to ask me to be here today.
Well, we certainly are honored to have you. And you know, I guess my question for you is, one, you know, do you feel we're doing it right as a Southeast Gassers Association? But I also wanted to talk to you about your induction into the Georgia Drag Racers Hall of Fame. I mean, these things are, I guess, kind of made your history in the sport worthwhile.
It has, and thank goodness we got young people taking it forward. And that means as much to me as anything to see it progressing the way it is, and Queen Scott and you guys bringing it back.
Well, you see, when Gene kind of first come around, I think he was extremely had no idea of exactly how much people remembered him from the past. And to have that, did you guys have any idea when you was doing what you was doing that it was going to be remembered and this sought after? In other words, did you realize you were making history?
No, we didn't. If we had, we'd have saved a lot more of history. We were just there for the thrill of it and just the pleasure of, we loved racing, and that's why we were there. Had we known it was going to balloon into this over the next 50 years or more, we would have saved more of it.
Well, you know, thank God you saved what you did. Thank God that you lived through it. Yeah. You know, all of the above, and that you're out here to talk with us about it a little bit. And that is, I guess, the final question. Would you give the Southeast Gassers Association, you know, so we'd say a grade, you know, A to D on the actuality of what you remember racing to be and how we're recreating it today? Would you say that it's very close?
I believe I've stepped back 50 years in time today, yes.
Rolling right into B-Gas round one. There you see Sam Gable in the moonshot, going to take on Doug Dobbins in the Medicine Man.
Doug Dobbins, last year's world champion, David, and Sam, buddy, let me tell you, he's got a problem in the other lane up until he went red light. Sam Gable taking the win here by default of old Doug, and I tell you, that is a lucky break for Sam Gable.
Yeah, it is, because Doug's been having some problems. I don't know where it's the air gap, the clutch, or something, but we'll move right along to Danny Bird and Gary Smith right here. Gary Smith into Chicken Bone, Henry J.
Danny Bird in that old familiar Chevy 2 that is always just marching right through the competition. This is no different. Danny Bird taking the win. Oh, high horsepower car. You know, that guy's got some drag racing history, Dave.
Really, he does, Mitch. And here we go with another guy with some history on his side, Tim Bailey, our world champion from 2016. He's going to be taking on another Georgia boy, Lance Yoakum, right here in the Bad Juju.
The Bad Juju. That's a pretty cool name for that old 55 Chevrolet and one of those super unique paint jobs, but that ain't enough to take Tim Bailey out of the picture. Not today. That Corvette is making passes down the racetrack and doing it in fine style.
Well, here's a great-looking shot right here. The new car being debuted today, and by Gabriel Burrow, nonetheless, pulling double duty. A four-door Chevy 2, and he's taking on Adam Lohorn right here. A lot of bouncing going on. Who's it going to be on the top end?
It's going to be Gabriel Burrow. And, David, that car right there is a Chevrolet with a Ford motor in it built by Jimmy Huff, and it's basically built for one purpose, and that is to take on that challenge for Todd Blackwell. Now then, here we got coming up a familiar old face, Todd Napier and the Atomic Hillbilly. And this right here, these guys have been working on this car. It is making power. It's running much faster, which is bad news for the homegrown 57.
Yeah, the homegrown 57 of Bluntwell, Tennessee's Zach Hall, unfortunately bites the dust right here from the Atomic Hillbilly. So those two Tennessee guys knocking each other out here in round number 1. Dean Harris, Campobello, South Carolina, going to get all he wants of James Beard right here.
James Beard in that beautiful orange Obsolete 2. What a father and son race team. His dad racing back in the 60s. James tells me that he just wanted to do this basically because it's the way his dad done it, and that's a good enough reason for me. He's taking the win from old Dean.
Looked like he tore him up on the line right there with a hole shot. Dean might have been sleeping in one of his first races back. But here we go, Jeff Madden out of Charleston, South Carolina, in the misleading, and he's going to jump on Jerry Birch right here in the Freebird out of Roebuck, South Carolina.
What he has just jumped on, and he may not realize it, is a past world champion and a race winner that once dominated this racetrack right here, or this category of drag racing.
And there you see Jerry Birch marching on to victory in the Freebird under that Birch engineering horsepower. Look at that margin of victory.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Southeast Gassers Association is represented from around the world, and we broadcast around the world in various ways. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, doesn't matter. If you don't believe this, just stand back and listen for 1 second. Again, thank you so much for coming, and you are from where?
Germany.
From Germany.
Germany, Cologne, yeah.
New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Sweden.
Sweden.
Washington State.
British Columbia, Canada.
Louisiana.
Sweden and Texas.
Sweden.
Sweden.
Kingfisher, Oklahoma.
Sweden. Winter Haven, Florida.
Winter Haven, Florida.
You are from where, sir?
Japan.
All right. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't think the Southeast Gassers Association has power to highlight things from around the world, racers and fans, you just seen it right here in Calhoun, Georgia. And every one of these gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, traveled to the United States, to this area, to see what? A Southeast Gassers Association drag race like none other. Heads up, no breakout.
Moving right here into A-Gas, the kings of the sport. What a great shot from Tony Turner's in-car camera, and the quick and dirty right there out of Cumming, Georgia. And he's going to get Steve Davis, the Pawpaw Spinney, and it looks like he got him on the line, Mitch, on the start.
I tell you what, old Tony Turner, you know, he's known for these first-round upsets, David, and I love these in-car cameras. That kind of takes me back to what I used to do quite a bit of. But what a win for Tony Turner. Pawpaw Spinney, Steve Davis rowing through them gears. At this point, David, he knows he's behind. In third gear, he pretty much knew this race was over.
Look at that margin of victory. The giant killer, Tony Turner, takes out someone else in round number 1.
Tony Turner, brother, I tell you, talk about an upset win. Come here, Cody. You got to get this. Now, I don't know if he's racing with these or not.
Holy cow, did I find a secret?
Woo! You have found a secret. You took out Steve Davis in the finals of the last race, and, buddy, you took him out in style. The old 39 Dodge was making power.
Woo, man, that's the fastest I've run this year.
We'll be looking for you in the next round, Tony Turner.
Thank you.
Steve, buddy, one of the worst interviews I hate doing is losing. Runner-up at the last race, moved yourself up to number 5 in the points. 3 or 4 races yet to go. A whole lot can happen, but yet this one here didn't go the way you wanted, I know.
Yeah, the giant killer, he did it again. Actually, me and Kenneth both fell asleep against him, and hey, that's what happens. That's part of racing. We'll take it and go back, try it again next week, and see what can we do better. So,
right back to action right here. There's Ernie Smith, the hired gun, going to get some of the 1965 Chevelle wagon of Barry Lynn in the right lane.
David, I'm going to tell you something. Ernie better be ready to go, because that wagon of Barry Lynn's is taking all of his mail, brother. But right now, it looked like Ernie is out with sufficient lead, and hey, he took it all the way to the bank. Good round win for Ernie Smith.
Yeah, love that.
Ernie Smith, my friend, hey, another good first round win. You know, again, this is good old racetrack, and you just took out one tough red wagon.
I tell you what, Barry Lynn's one of the toughest out here. Got nothing but respect for him, but you know, we've been working on this old hot rod nonstop, and the work's starting to pay off. We're starting to go a few rounds here and starting to show some results.
Absolutely. I know it has really looked good on this Paradise Dragstrip in Calhoun, Georgia all weekend. She's been right down the avenue.
She's going right straight down the middle. Once again, can't thank Priority Heating and Air, Ace's High Tattoo. You know, guys helped me get down the road, and they've put a bad hot rod under me here.
And there you see Kenneth Phillips in that bad car called the Silver Streak. He's going to take on Robert Frazier out of Bristol, Tennessee in the black and blue Barracuda.
David, let me tell you something. Kenneth Phillips better win this round right here because he is tied for the points. Shannon Smith rolled into this event tied even for the number one position on the points. Fortunately for him, black and blue going red over there and handing that free win over to Kenneth. Now then, here is Alan Galden, Corvette number 2. I hate to say it that way, but the facts are the facts. And this should be a good drag race. Them boys, I tell them, they travel up from Florida and they come up here just to cause trouble. Taking on Troy Leitner and the shaking bacon Henry J.
Yeah, it's good to see Alan Galden out of Land O'Lakes, Florida, back up here. There you see the Exalta sign right there, one of our great sponsors behind the car of Troy Leitner. And I hate to say it, but it looks like Alan Galden's just going to make quick work of that shaking bacon.
Exalta making a whole lot of preparations and benefit towards a race coming up here in a week or so in Mooresville. Jeff Jacobson taking on Ben Christopher. This is going to be a drag race of drag races. 2 super good, fast cars, David. This right here is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, and beautiful race cars as well. Jacobson with that FE horsepower, and Ben Christopher with the wheels off the ground all over the racetrack in that little 48 Anglia, and he takes the win over Jeff Jacobson. Kind of an upset right there as Jacobson gets down the track real well. Ben Christopher with that power horsepower puts him on the trail.
Jacobson winning the last race he contested, and I'm here to tell you that was, look at that finish, David.
That is what it's all about in the Southeast Gassers. We roll right into JT Moses out of Brazelton, Georgia, and he's going to be taking on Gabriel Burrell in that Southern Flyer, and this is going to be a good matchup. Look at those big twin Hollies sitting on top of that JT Moses car.
David, the whole Moses family has been such a supporter of the Southeast Gassers Association. Gabriel Burrell taking this win in round number 1. The old Falcon just more than the 56 can handle. Brother, you know Todd Oden passed you 5 points at the last race. However, he does seem to be in a precarious situation, not running well today. I cannot tell you how pivotal this run right here will be.
Yeah, we're going to lay it down as hard as we can. Scalded Dog's running good. He's actually got lane choice on me, so we're just going to go up there and do our thing, and hopefully it's enough, you know.
Buddy, you better pull some drag racing tricks. You need this round.
I'm going to put it to the floor and let it fly.
Larry Noel says he's going to put it to the floor. He's going to have to do that here against Tim Hall out of Abbeville, South Carolina in that Scalded Dog Rambler.
Yes, sir, David. Tim Hall is not going to give him any room. Larry is going to have to run as hard as he can to take this win, and Lord knows he wins it because who's on his tail, or actually I think they're kind of tied right this minute, Todd Oden. Now, interesting note, Tim Hall, as we were just talking, David, won drag week this week. What an accomplishment. That's 3 in a row, I believe you were saying. Congratulations, Tim, on that. However, Larry Noel taking first round, which he had better do to keep that fight up against Todd Oden.
Well, look at this race. Tim Hall looks like he got a little bit of a whole shot advantage on the starting line, but man, and that power of Wayne Sless pulls around him in the end, and Larry Noel goes into round number 2.
Larry Noel, brother, that is how you at least keep the points tight. Good win, righteous win.
Yeah, I was lucky there, man. I had that pedal to the floor, and he was coming closer, but I saw that light turn on, and I was pretty happy. So.
Well, we was obviously down here watching for it, and as I understand, you did not get the whole shot, but apparently the old crazy horse powered through.
Yeah, I spun the tires pretty good up there on that one, but, man, I'm just happy to make the round, you know. So.
Well, we got to wait and see what happens to Todd Oden. He may be down, he may not. You never know about that Oden crowd. This is going to get interesting.
I know. I'm hoping for Jimmy Huff on this one.
Great race right there. Here we go with another good one. Cynthia Phillips and Josh Pruitt, the Youngblood. Cynthia Phillips in the Flower Power car, going to be in the right lane, and Josh Pruitt going to be in the left.
Josh is closing up behind Todd Oden, buddy, and Larry Noel. Tom White seeing some kind of an issue with the Flower Power race car. Josh going to be on a competition single, David. This is not a bye run. When your opponent breaks, that is considered a competition single, and Josh is making one more round right there with the 2 leaders, Larry Noel and Todd Oden. Josh, buddy, as we always say, no matter how you win, just so you win. I understand Cynthia broke up there, couldn't even pull to the start.
Yeah, I don't know what broke, but she ain't the only one that broke. My line lock quit working, so I had to learn real quick how to sidestep a car, so I hate it, but a win's a win. I need it.
I understand old Double X may not be on its best day. Where are we at, son? What's happening?
Well, we've changed injector nozzles, injector secondary bypass. We've changed the peel 3 times. We put 2 sets of plugs in it and had to replace a starter wire a minute ago. So we're all over the place. But it's up here in the staging lanes, and we're going to give it all we got.
Well, brother, you know, of course, I can't pull for nobody, but you and Larry are both great guys, and so to that end, this is only going to get more interesting as the year goes by.
It is. This is if you don't think sea gas is tough, just come out and get you some of this.
I do believe this may be where them people from around the world, Japan, Germany, Sweden, everywhere, New Zealand, everywhere, come maybe to watch you and Larry Noel race sea gas. I do believe it.
I think you're right.
And there's Todd Oden going to have a big challenge on his hands with Jimmy Huff out of Logansville, Georgia, right here in this sea gas race.
David, as this race is being conducted right here, Todd Oden is 1 round ahead of Larry Noel. He just took that away from Larry Noel at the last race by going 2 rounds further than Larry did, which gave him 1 round advantage right here. However, he's up against the ultra-tough, ultra-fast Jimmy Huff, and Jimmy Huff putting the last year's champion on the trailer, David, and now opening up the door for Larry Noel to come back.
You can see the disgust on Todd Oden's face as he's going down the track and watching Jimmy Huff just pull away, as he knows something's not right in that big 58 Delray, because he's usually right at the top of the heap, and Jimmy Huff marches on to victory.
Jimmy Huff, your hoopty wagon has done it, brother. You have taken out points leader Todd Oden in the XX 58 Chevrolet.
I couldn't believe it. I tried what I did, something different. I double bubbed him. I really wasn't meaning to, but I rolled it in and I seen it done it, and I just pulled up there and laid it down to it.
Well, like I said, brother, the old wagon, it looked like it was a moving around. Good driving job.
It was spinning the tires in every gear.
Well, good job. Like I said, that right there just took out the points leader, Todd Oden, and it is a Chevrolet, so I guess that wasn't no big deal for you.
On a hole shot. That's unreal for me.
Jimmy Huff won on a hole shot. Mark that one down, ladies and gentlemen.
Leslie Horn in the stud muffin, #1 qualifier, going to be given here a bye run. Let's see if he's going to drive it all the way through or if he's going to just take it down the track on a Sunday drive.
Yeah, the old stud muffin, he qualified #1, David, giving him the bye run as this race progresses due to the uneven number of race cars.
And that 62 wagon with that Fulton tag on the front of it and Fulton horsepower underneath brings back a lot of memories.
Leslie Stud Muffin Horn, let me tell you, I want to know, what does it feel like when a newcomer is #1 qualifier at the Southeast Gassers Association event?
Just being here with you, it's just worth it. Just getting to see you makes my whole trip worth it coming down here.
Well, you know, that is a general consensus of everybody here, even though they weren't #1 qualifiers. So for Leslie Horn, #1 qualifier to Southeast Gassers event, how does it feel?
It feels great, Mitch, to be here. I really, like I say earlier, I didn't think I could be here with a little car, but we've worked and worked and worked. Billy Edwards has worked his butt off on this thing. I have, Larry has, and then Gene, you know, he stepped up and helped me with my motor, and it's just, can't believe the little cars run as good as it is.
Exalta Paint and Finishes bringing to these 2 good-looking race cars right here. There's Sam Gable in the Moonshot. He's going to take on the Junkyard Dog at 1962 Chevy 2 of Danny Bird out of Sykeston, Missouri.
Danny Bird running them Hoosier slicks on that bad hot rod, David. I tell you, this seen a decal on the quarter panel there, and thanks to them for their efforts and what they do in coming in with us. There's the same decal on the Moonshot. You know, Hoosier Tire is a great tire company. They've done a tremendous amount to promote and to help us here at the Southeast Gassers Association, and they're also paying contingency to our runner-ups and winners in all 3 categories. Now, both Hoosier tires being put to the test on this racetrack, and Danny Bird taking advantage of that, and through the finish line he goes, and Sam Gable gets to go home and work on that hot rod for another day.
Right down Broadway, Danny Bird taking that Junkyard Dog and Brian Bickens horsepower right down the racetrack, and he'll move on into round #3 here in B-Gas. Now we got Todd Napier taking on Jerry Birch, the Atomic Hillbilly and the Freebird. And, buddy, with the improvements that the Atomic Hillbilly has made, this really shapes up to be a great race.
Todd Napier's got a job to do right here, David. He is taking on, as you said, Jerry Birch, a winner, I mean a dominator over the years with the Southeast Gassers, him and his brother Joey, and they're racing in the honor of their father with them purple shirts on. and old Joe Birch, and I tell you, they just put Todd on the trailer. Todd got a little bit more work to do if he's going to outrun them boys.
Sure does, but man, kudos to Todd Napier and his family, Derek, for stepping up the game right there. You see Lee Timms, the track owner right here. He's really getting into Southeast Gassers as he see the margin of victory right there.
Jerry Birch, I believe Joey Birch deserves the credit for that one right there. You got left on, but the power was way too much for Todd Napier.
Well, actually, Quayne gets the credit for that one. We had a dead cylinder. We on 3. That's our 3rd MSD box. So Quayne come over and looked and saw that we had a dead cylinder. So we put the spark plug in, and so we good.
So Quayne Stott gets the credit for that, will you?
Gets the credit for that one.
There we see Tim Bailey getting it a little sideways in that 57 Corvette to Alley Cat 2. There you see a good shot of him. He's going to take on James Beard out of Ripley, Tennessee. And you see his dad, Dan, up in front of that Obsolete 2, getting his son into beams for this big second-round matchup here in B-Gas.
David, this will be a good drag race. Two good cars, two good teams. Tim Bailey been with us literally from the start. Thank you, Tim. You have certainly weathered the test of time with us, taking a win from the Beard family. There again, buddy, I tell you, old Tim, he has been with us. He's hung with us, David.
The 2016 world champ, Tim Bailey, moves on to round number 3.
Tim Bailey, my brother, old Alley Cat Corvette, you've had one of the most topsy-turvy careers in the Southeast Gassers Association. You've won championships, you've won races, and you have troubles, and maybe today's going to turn around. 2 rounds.
I thought that was the way it was supposed to be. I thought that was just drag racing.
Gabriel Burrow, B-Gas, A-Gas, 2 categories, 1 driver. Hey, is this all it's cracked up to be?
It is not.
Well, I do know you got a first-round win in both categories. That's a pretty good day for Gabriel Burrow.
It's a real good day for me. The 2 cars in 2 classes is tough. A and C would be better, but it keeps you up on the stick. You really don't have time to sit and think about it, which I think is a good thing for me, not overanalyzing it, just getting in the car and letting them run.
Staying busy, staying on top of it, keep the adrenaline flowing, and knock them out, brother.
We're going to try right here. We got a giant next round, but we're going to put him on the trailer.
A matchup a lot of people been waiting to see if this 4-door Chevy 2 Ford horsepower can take on, then take out Todd Blackwell in this slingshot.
David, that's a lot to say. A 4-door Chevy 2 with Ford power. Talk about a mixed-up drag car. That car was kind of built in a rush, in a midnight oil, so to speak, and its sole purpose was to take the bounty away from that Todd, or take the bounty that's been posted against Todd Blackwell. And hey, from my point of view, looks like they got a whole lot more midnight oil to burn. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, that power horsepower underneath the slingshot, combined with Todd Blackwell's leaving ability and driving ability, is going to be a hard thing to beat.
Yep, they put Gabriel Burrow in the car, but it's going to take a lot of work. Todd Blackwell, I was telling your dad, Mike, up there on the starting line during qualifying, it's no wonder you guys win drag races. This thing is so clean, straight down the racetrack, and it doesn't seem to me that a bounty on your head has bothered you at all.
No, you can't let it, can you? If you let it get in your head, that's when you're going to mess up. That's exactly right.
2 rounds down. Good job, Todd. Wonderful. I mean, you guys just hanging on and padding that championship. It looking like it's going to be yours for this year.
Yeah, I appreciate that, but we got the toughest one yet, the dog, coming up, so he's always a contender.
Here we go to Kings of the Sport. There's a 3-time winner already this year, Shannon Smith, and he's going to take on Ernie Smith. No relation right here in that Henry J. And there's another great in-car shot of that Pale Rider 1955 out of Landrum, South Carolina.
I tell you what, old Shannon has risen to the rank of tied, as we sit here right now, David, tied for the points and A-Gas champion with Kenneth Phillips. Ernie Smith got a job to do, and I know that he is trying. I know he wants it, and this is so far a close drag race, David.
Yeah, Shannon Smith coming out the winner right here. Look at this in-car shot. Shannon with the speed shifting going on right here. Don't know what happened in 3rd gear right there, but Shannon Smith still takes the victory.
You watch that again. You watch that clutch stomping going on. That is the Southeast Gassers Association. If you don't use the clutch, you don't get to compete.
Look at that margin of victory for the Pale Rider.
Pale Rider, brother, that's round 2 down, taking out hired gun Ernie Smith. I believe he's waiting over here to congratulate you a little bit. Good job, brother. I've got to tell you, the old Pale Rider doesn't look like he's lost a step, and you coming into this race tied in the championship points, A-Gas category, with good old Kenneth Phillips. This right here is going to be a very critical race.
Yeah, it's and we ain't got a hold of the track. You know, it's not running like it should, and of course nobody has. So it's a good pedal fest, maybe.
Well, this just kind of evens the score across the board. The less powerful cars speed up, the more powerful cars kind of fall back. It just makes this much more interesting drag race.
It's not interesting to me.
But it is to me.
It ain't flying. I ain't flying.
We'll be looking for you in the next round.
Good-looking second-round matchup right here with the double-down 1957 wagon going to take on Alan Gaulden. And, buddy, that 57 wagon's got his hands full right here.
Yeah, the old boys from down in Florida, you know, they're like the swamp monsters, David. They don't come to every race, but every race they come to, they seem to want to take home a win. They just stir up trouble. And, hey, there is, I don't know what's going on over there with Todd Oden, but he apparently could not make the tree.
I saw Ted Chevria point just one finger up in the air, so it looked like he was calling for a single.
Todd apparently having trouble. Alan Gaulden, you guys drag her up from Florida, and you just create havoc in A-Gas every time y'all show up for a drag race.
I'm just happy we made it here. Thank God, first of all, and I want to thank our engine builder. Our engine builder's really been working his butt off to help us, and it's finally coming around. Things are getting a little better, so I'm just really happy we're able to go this many rounds so far.
Well, I know this. There's a lot of guys in A-Gas love to see you show up, and there's a lot of guys that really hate to see you show up. So I think you need to start sending out a press release and letting everybody know if you are or are not coming.
Yeah, I brought some cards with me to give them, you know, some farewell thank you card or something.
Be looking for you next round, Alan.
Kenneth Phillips coming up in the Silver Streak, too, loving that right-hand lane, going to take on Ben Christopher in the Happy Days 48 Angley.
Is Kenneth going to have enough to take out Ben here, David? Because this is such a crucial round for Kenneth. We just seen Shannon Smith take his second round victory. Kenneth has to do the same. He has to match rounds for round with Shannon in order to at least maintain the tie and to have a prayer against leaving this race with the lead back in his corner without the pressures of a tie. Now, these cars that Ben is ready to go, they're both in staging. It is a clean drag race, but it looks like to me, well, Ben having trouble too. Seen it fire coming out of the head.
Yeah, a little backfire on that Anglia, but still takes the victory. That par horsepower putting down the Gene Fulton horsepower here in A-Gas competition right here.
Don't know what's going on, David. Kenneth has struggled with this car for the last three races, and that is just, it's going to be interesting at the end of the year. Ben Christopher, come on out of there, buddy. I'm going to tell you, the Anglia may be wild, it may be hairy, it may have a new motor in it, I understand. Doesn't matter. You just took out Kenneth Phillips. Shannon Smith owes you a Christmas card, if nothing else, because that gives him the opportunity. Actually, that just allowed Shannon Smith to pass Kenneth for the championship so far. Points leader in A-Gas. And hey, who but Ben Christopher takes him out?
That mixes it up, don't it? One of them deals, you know, you just can't, just got to keep trying, you know. I'm sure Shannon's going to love it, though, ain't he?
Shannon, I am sure, is absolutely excited. No question about it.
Yep. That was, I owed Silver Street that one. I finally tattooed him.
Well, you know, you may get the opportunity to pay back the debtor.
But he's not running good, so one of them deals.
What better time to take him out?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Moving right ahead, there's the giant killer Tony Turner, and he's got a job on his hands right here with Gabriel Burrow. Gabriel, a little burr under his saddle after that B-gas loss. He's going to be stretching this Southern Flyer out, I tend to think.
David, Gabriel Burrow currently sitting fourth in the A-gas points, and Tony Turner is considered a giant killer, and it is considered that Gabriel Burrow could certainly be one of those giants. That Falcon is a bad hombre and one I love to watch, and I tell you, he is gone. Tony Turner will not be sending Gabriel Burrow home today.
I tell you, the lead right there of Gabriel Burrow just really set the whole tone. He pulls it back into the groove very well, and that little sprint, that little Falcon sprint, sprinted away.
It's gone for the count. Talking a little while ago about running two cars, well, it does have one advantage, if nothing else. You lose one, you win one. A-Gas, you're still standing strong.
Doing good. Done all I could do last round in the other car. Done all I could do this round. It just paid off a little more in A-Gas.
Well, you know, the funny thing about the round in B-Gas, you took a purpose-built car that was built to do a job, and it failed to do the job.
It'll do it next time. We've got a lot more left to work out. The headers look like they belong on the stock Nova, not the race Nova, so we'll get it worked out.
Todd Blackwell don't seem to be worried.
He is not, probably, but he better be.
Seagas semifinals, and this one's going to be a good one, Mitch. Battle of the Fords right here. Jimmy Huff in the left lane and Josh Pruitt, the young blood, in the right lane. I can't wait to see how this one turns out.
I can't either. You know, Jimmy could certainly play the spoiler here. Josh is third in points, and I've been telling him, Josh, just keep putting pressure on those two old guys, Larry Noel and Todd Oden. Hey, I believe this is a drag race,
man. This is a good one. I see who's going to be. Josh Pruitt pulls it out on the end, and I tell you what, I can't wait to see that Lamar Walden Automotive finish line, Cam.
Absolutely. This was a good drag race. Josh just drove a perfect race right there. They left together, and I tell you, he overcome the horsepower, big horsepower of that Jimmy Huff mobile.
Man, look at that shot.
Josh Pruitt, they tell me up here that you did get beat on the starting line, but the old Youngblood Hot Rod had enough power to come back around.
I barely pulled that one out, but I'll take it. Win's a win.
Whoever's building horsepower in this thing over there, from my understanding, you might better go give them a hug.
That'd be my uncle. I got to give credit to him because he is one heck of a mechanic. Yeah. I love him for that. He does amazing.
With that matchup, here comes another star-studded matchup. Larry Noel right here against the #1 qualifier, Leslie Horn out of Boiling Springs in the Stud Muffin.
Old Stud Muffin he is, David. He's been called that for a long time. I've known Leslie for years and years. We grew up and drank out the same creek, so to speak. But right now, he has got the man who is currently tied for the points in Seagas. This is going to be a good drag race. Old Stud Muffin better be ready, because I do know that the Crazy Horse is kicking pretty high.
Stud Muffin with an advantage right there. He's going to drive away to victory, I do believe. Yes, Leslie Horn does. And Mitch, I can't say enough about how the level of competition has improved in Seagas.
Absolutely. They just keep getting faster and prettier, David.
Well, Leslie Horn right there in the left lane, giving Larry Noel the trailer, and there is the finish line shot.
Leslie Horn, brother, I don't know if you know it or not, but that was Larry Noel. He is currently tied in the points with Todd Oden, and you just put him on the trailer.
Did I run somebody? I didn't know I run nobody. No, I knew Larry was going to be on it, so I had to be on it a little bit better there. I don't know what my reaction time was. I've been just trying to be careful on the light. I didn't want a red light. I hadn't drove that much in a while, so just getting enjoying it, loving it, glad to be here, glad to see all my old buddies.
Well, I'm going to give you a piece of information. They tell me from the tower y'all left dead even. Neither one of you had an advantage on the tree.
That's awesome.
That makes for a good drag race. We'll look in the next round.
There's Jerry Birch in the left lane, going to take on Tim Bailey. Tim Bailey in the left lane, taking on Jerry Birch in the right. Another good matchup of big-ass cars, and the Freebird and the Alley Cat.
Freebird and the Alley Cat. You know, that kind of has a cartoon sound to it, David. But nonetheless, there ain't going to be no joke about this drag race right here. Let me tell you, brother, this is going to be competition. These two guys have raced with us forever. They are both race winners. Tim over there being a past world champion. This is going to be a drag race. And, hey, I mean, this is just neck and neck all the way down.
Good drag race right here. Who's it going to be? The Roebuck boys, Jerry Birch and his brother Joey, put that Birch engineering to horsepower to good use and taking out Tim Bailey right here.
Just look at this all the way down. This is going to be a great finish right there.
Jerry Birch, buddy, you won that one on both ends. Good job. As we said before, old time.
Thank you, buddy.
There he is, Todd Blackwell, striking the hides right here, cleaning them off, going to take on Danny Bird in this round of racing.
He is getting them old Hoosier slicks hot and sticky, David. Let me tell you, Danny Bird in the left lane over there, this is going to be a good drag race. These two guys, 1 and 2 in the points. They're just a few rounds apart from one another, although, well, maybe not. I think Todd's got quite a number of rounds ahead of Danny, but Danny leaving early, and absolutely early, going red, handing it over a freebie to Todd Blackwell.
Uncharacteristic for Danny Bird to do that, but he knew that he had to go thin on the tree to beat Todd Blackwell.
Absolutely. That was kind of the only chance he had at this race, because the Blackwell machine is flying.
Todd Blackwell, you know, I think you may have just taken out maybe your biggest threat for the weekend. Don't know that for sure, but what I can tell you is you've got Jerry Birch, a past world champion, and they are running really good. This is going to be a wonderful final, brother, let me tell you.
Absolutely, yeah. The Junkyard Dog, he is, I'm just happy about taking him out now because he's the one that's closest to me in the points, so
That moved us a little bit ahead of him and going to open that gap a little bit.
That it does.
And so whether we win or lose in this next one, we up against a strong contender, so we just do our best.
Catching just a second with Danny Bird in his trailer. Obviously, he is not making it into the final round. Danny, my question for you is, obviously Todd Blackwell is a powerhouse competitor. They're fast. They've got power under the hood. There's a bounty on him. There's all these things, but you are technically his closest competitor. And unfortunately, you just lost to him. I have to say, if there's anybody out here that can beat him, you would certainly be one of the top candidates. How do you beat Todd Blackwell?
Well, we've got to get our program better than what we got it. We evidently had the wrong compounded tire on there. It went in a horrendous tire shake again with a super soft shock on it, and shook the driver's glass out of it. It shook so hard. But anyway, we just got to fine-tune things. Just got to fine-tune things.
Well, that answers my question. Like I said, we love close racing, and we don't want to never take anything away from the guy that runs away with it. But I know that this has got to be getting under your skin.
That's for sure. The Blackwell family is a super family. And high praise for them. And but we just got to do better.
A-Gas Semi's right here. The Southern Flyer of Gabriel Burrow taking on the Pale Rider of Shannon Smith.
David, the Pale Rider, Shannon Smith, again, he now has the opportunity. We just seen Kenneth Phillips go out in the round before. So they are now tied, and Shannon has the opportunity to put one round more, or put a round, which gives him the official lead, no longer tied. Gabriel Burrow standing in the way of that. A good drag race. Shannon moving, Gabriel moving. These two A-Gas cars going down the racetrack with Shannon Smith coming out the winner. Just look at the movement of that 55. Look at the wheel stands, David.
Yeah, the wheel stands, and even in second gear, Shannon's pulling them up, and Gabriel Burrow is digging, and man, that margin of victory is so close.
Shannon Smith, another one of those classic Ford Chevrolet battles, and the old Pale Rider came out on top. I understand, not only did you lead first, but obviously you beat him through the lights. Quite a good piece. Old Pale Rider doing his job, Shannon doing his job. Looked like a good day for Shannon Smith.
That old girl don't let me down much now. But here lately, she hasn't let me down very much.
But I am going to say, from my point of view, it looked like she was wanting to kick you off of her back real bad down that racetrack.
Sometimes she likes to show me who's boss. I know she is. I'm just along for the ride.
We'll be looking for you in one more ride. One more ride. Woo!
Exuberance of Shannon Smith going to the finals, and they see who he'll take on. Is it going to be Alan Galden in that frequent flyer, or will it be Ben Christopher in the Happy Days?
David, it could be either one. Talk about a matchup on the road to the final. There's Phil Robertson backing up Alan Galden, and, kind of tagged him a little while ago as a swamp monster. And, hey, I like it. That kind of sticks. Now then, can they take out Ben? Ben has been very wild, very violent race car all day long, but it's been fast, David. On the other hand, the old Corvette of Alan Galden, smooth, straight down the racetrack. Here we go. It looks like Alan Galden taking the win, Ben having something he could not overcome.
Yeah, it looked like Ben moved to the center line and somehow must have pushed into clutch or something happened, and he aborted the rest of the run. The violence in that car is pretty bad, but Alan Galden streaks on to the finals where he'll take on Shannon Smith.
Leslie Horn, buddy, C-Gas, first time you're in the finals. You're up against Josh Pruitt, young blood. He's been in the finals many times. He's won races. How do you go about that?
Well, Josh, I hate to outrun him, but I'm gonna try my best to outrun him. I ain't told him I ain't gonna cut him no slack, and I don't want him to cut me no slack. We're gonna go out here and we're gonna let him rip. Whoever gets there, gets there.
Well, he may be young, but let me tell you, he's got lots of experience.
He's young, and his reaction going to be a whole lot quicker than these old men. You know how that goes because you're right there with me. So we'll see what we can do with him. Having a blast, enjoying Southeast Gassers, Queen, everything everybody's doing, all the people that comes out, all the spectators. It's amazing. People coming all the way from places me and you can't even say. We from Green Creek. We don't even know them places, do we?
Well, I just want to tell you, brother, good luck in the finals. We're going to be looking for you. I'm going to go over here and holler second at Josh. We'll just be standing in the middle, see who wins. Josh in the finals again, brother.
Yes, sir. It feels good. I like being in it.
Anything new? You got a kind of a greenhorn back here, old Leslie Horn. You know, I just told him you may be young, but you got a lot of experience.
Oh, he ain't no slouch. He ain't gonna give it to me, but that's a fast car. But I'm gonna give it all I got.
Ford Chevrolet battle. What do you see the outcome being?
Ford all day.
Finals time in C-Gas. There you see the young blood Josh Pruitt choosing the right lane, and he's going to be taking on the number 1 qualifier, Leslie Horn, who will be in the left.
David, Leslie Horn is the only thing standing between Josh Pruitt and some of his grandma Ann Eisen's famous biscuit and gravy. I know, buddy, he's wanting some of them, and he's got to get around old Stud Muffin over there to do that, because she told me at the first race he won, if he wins this race, she's going to fix him some biscuits and gravy. And now then, he has an opportunity to capitalize on that again. Josh is in a position to close up the gap even closer on those points to within, I think, David, 3 rounds. If Josh can win this race right here, he will be within 3 rounds of the 2 guys that are leading the points right now, Todd Oden and Larry Noel. This is going to be a good race. However, Leslie has the performance advantage from the number 1 position of qualifying. It is a good race, but it looks like Josh is walking away.
Yeah, straight and true down the racetrack, and Leslie Horn looks like his car nosed over and looked like 2nd or 3rd gear. Don't know what might have happened to the Stud Muffin right there, as the number 1 qualifier gives way to the young blood in that horsepower battle.
That he did a good win for Josh, and man, I love it because that points battle is tightening up. Josh Pruitt, buddy, it's been a day of adversity, and I know that you know what I'm talking about, but you guys pulled through. It is a wonderful, righteous win for the entire team today.
That's a good win. If you'd have told me about 4:30 today that we'd have won, I told you was lying. We've had the line lock not work, and I'm having to learn how to sidestep it, but hey, thank God and thank my uncle for knowing what he knows.
Well, your dad come over and he was talking to me, and he said, you know, I'm really proud of Josh. He's been able to adapt to that sidestep in the clutch today with no trouble. Good job today, Josh. We're proud of you. Happy. Keep putting the pressure on them 2 leaders because you are closing the door.
Sir, thank you. Thank you.
Josh Pruitt putting it in victory circle again here at Paradise Dragway, buddy. Hey, got to be a vindicating win for you to make through. This is a tough field today.
Oh, yeah, it was a real tough field. There's a bunch of fast cars, and like I told Mitch at the end, if you'd have told me at 4:30 today that I'd have been in the finals, I told you it was crazy.
Man's learning as he goes. C-Gas winner here tonight, Paradise Dragway, the young blood, Josh Pruitt.
Thank you.
B-Gas finals. There's Todd Blackwell. Can Jerry Birch in the Freebird be the giant killer right here in B-Gas?
David, this could be considered the battle of the Titans. I'm just going to be honest with you. Jerry Birch has won countless races, and I've said earlier in this race, he has been a dominator in time past. Now he's up against the modern-day dominator of Todd Blackwell, his dad Mike, and the whole Scenic Tool crew. I'm telling you, these are the Titans of B-Gas right now as we speak. Based on how things are going, this is going to be a good race.
What a great shot with those headlights. I just love that, backing up in the smoke. That just makes it period correct as it comes. But I tell you, this is just going to be something for this bounty. You know the Birch brothers could use that bounty money in their little kitty to make some more horsepower.
Absolutely, David. As you're talking about them headlights, gives it that street race feel. And, hey, kids at home, street racing ain't legal. Do it on a drag strip. But nonetheless, here they go, David. A good match, a good lead.
Jerry Birch definitely leaves him on the line, and that's not going to be enough to take out the slingshot in Todd Blackwell as that big horsepower comes through on the big end.
I tell you, that car of Jerry's was moving around. He was fighting that car. Just look at it all the way down the racetrack, violent as could be. What a finish.
There you see it on the Exalta finish line camera, and Todd Blackwell wins again.
Todd Blackwell, buddy. All I can say is you and the Lord has done it again, my friend.
Yes, sir. As always, like to thank the good Lord for the win.
Brother, like I said, you have won a drag race today. You've extended the points lead. We had people here from around the world. I'm telling you, you presented yourself in a world-class drag race today, and you came out on top. Congratulations.
Thank you much, sir.
Judging by that smile on your face, you don't ever get tired of this, do you, buddy?
No, sir, not at all. I thank the good Lord as always for another victory tonight. He's been good to us. Thank the Lord for my family traveling with us. It's all a good, fun time that we can come here and have, and for the whole show that's been put on for Quayne and what he does here. It's good to be here and good to be in Victory Lane again. That last run right there was really close. Bert's put it on, and so congratulations to him for he's running really good this last run. So good run.
Yeah, he had to take a shot at the tree. Got you a little bit on the tree, but Mitch hollered at me. He said, "Who won? Who won?" Because he didn't know who won. He said, "Can't wait to see the video on that one."
Yeah, it was close. It was definitely the closest run of the night, which that's where it should be in the finals, right?
It should be, and I tell you what, catch you if you can. There's a lot of people trying to get on there, but this slingshot continues to prove that it is the man to be beaten.
Well, we're already working for Plan B too when they do catch us. So.
A little hint of what's to come from Todd Blackwell, but for tonight, Todd Blackwell, you are the winner here in Paradise. Congratulations.
Thank you much, sir.
Charles Smith, you know, the world may not know that you're Shannon Smith's father. I've got
Everybody,
one.
That's why they introduced me now. This is Shannon Smith's daddy.
Well, you know, I got some guys asked me at the last race if I was Donovan's father.
Well, you got a lot to be proud of, too.
But my question for you is, you know, Shannon back home on the highway, on the road, he's long been kind of regarded as a man that could handle a race car.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, he really handles a race car. Did you teach him any of this?
No, he learned all that on his own. But I'll tell you, now he can drive one.
That he can.
He got them big as church bells, they say.
You sure his mama didn't teach him this?
Well, she was a pretty good driver, too, back in her day.
We appreciate it, Charles. Congratulations to you boys, and we'll be looking for you in the final.
Thank you very much. Been a good night. Good race.
But here you are. Now you got Shannon Smith, who is the current sitting points leader in A-gas category.
Well, we're doing the best we can, and just thank God, and I want to thank our engine builder. He's really come a long way to help us, and we needed it, and it's showing here. So we're going to go in this final round and just run our own race and do the best we can do. I know he's a champ, and he's leading the points for a reason. But we've missed a few races, so we're trying to get back in the swing of it. And
well, you know, that seemingly hadn't hurt you too bad thus far today. Now, was Steve Smith, engine builder, in this thing?
Yeah, and he's done a lot to help us, and my hat's off to him. He's really gone over and above to try to make this thing run for us, and he's done his job, and so now we got to do our job.
And there is Alan Galden and the Gladiator Shannon Smith bringing them in here for the A-Gas Finals. The kings of the sport are getting ready to do action.
David, we had people here from different countries from around the world. They come here, I believe, to see a lot of drag racing, and specifically this one, the final round of the A-Gas category, the kings of the Southeast Gassers Association. Look at those stands. This right here is going to be the coolest round of the night. You've got the Swamp Monster against a Pale Rider over here. Both of these guys want to win. Alan Galden, accustomed to winning when they come to a race, being the spoiler, upsetting things. Shannon Smith wanting to put more rounds between him and Kenneth Phillips. This is going to be a showdown, and it is fixing to happen right now.
Good lead by Shannon Smith. Wheels up in the air in second gear as well. Galden giving him all he wants, and who will it be? Shannon Smith at the line pulls it out.
I tell you, David, that Shannon is one tough hombre. He has beat this A-Gas competition to death today. He has done it just with a violent race car, superb driving skills, and excitement nonetheless. Shannon Smith, step out of the car as the current standing A-Gas points leader, brother, and by about 15 points. Congratulations. You have closed the door on Kenneth Phillips. You have passed him. You've done it in a world-class drag race today. You had people here from literally around the world watching you do this. Quite a job. Congratulations yet again, my friend.
The Swedes are with me, by the way. Swedes is with me.
Let me tell you, they was more here than just the ones that was with you.
Yes, sir. They pulled me through it. That's why I won it today.
There was people here from Sweden, Germany, Japan, British Columbia, Canada, and like I said, this is a world-class professional drag race, and you won. There was more than just your group of Swedes, which proclaimed themselves as being living in Texas now.
You told me to talk, and then you just cut me off, and I told you I went to Sweden to get them and then brought them back.
All of them?
The race, all of them.
So that was your doing.
There's nobody left in the country.
They make salad
Egg salads. My mama, my daddy tapping me on the shoulder, Sam, everybody. everybody. The good Lord.
Shannon Smith, you're going to have to build a bigger shelf at Orange Bear Motors to hang all these trophies on, aren't you, buddy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We've been lucky lately. Doing good.
Had a good year and continued that tonight with a great race in the finals against Alan Galden.
Yeah. I like Alan fine, but boy, I was glad to beat him.
He's been a fast car for a long time, and here he has shown up. But you're in the middle of a good run for right now in this Pale Rider.
Yeah, it's doing good. It's unpredictable, if I can say that, if I'm saying that right. But I thought Gabriel had me when I had to race him. Car slowed down all day, got loose all day, spun all day. Sam and Billy finally got it hooked up, and she did what she did best. She showed me she was still boss, but we put the foot on the floor and just kept digging.
So the Pale Rider, Shannon Smith, that 55, got a juggernaut going right here in the A-gas category, and the winner tonight at Paradise Dragway. Well, Mitch Stott, we're here at Paradise Dragstrip, and the only thing I can say about tonight's racing was it is absolutely electric.
Electric is really not a sufficient word, David. I mean, the history of the track, the number of people that was at this track today, and then the places in the world that these people come from. Talk about somebody traveling to come and see a Southeast Gassers drag race. And here's what I asked a few of these guys. I said, tell me, did you come here for this? For this only, they reported to me. And then I asked them, I said, what is it? They said that is the most authentic recreation of drag racing in the world today. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the Southeast Gassers Association. It is the most authentic drag racing, recreated drag racing you will ever find. Now, David, cannot talk about this today without talking about Shannon Smith. Not only did he come here tied with Kenneth Phillips in the points, but he won the race. Phillips going out early, so now he's capitalized on that. Shannon Smith is now the points leader in A-Gas. End of the season going to be incredible. Now you move on to Larry Noel. Take it, brother.
Yeah, and Larry Noel coming back up and tying Todd Oden, and that C-Gas competition is just incredibly tight, and Josh Pruitt is creeping up on him every round, taking the win here tonight in that young blood. This is going to be a shootout for the next 3 races.
I have told Josh for the last 2 or 3 races, son, keep putting the pressure on them 2 old dogs, because if either one of them falters, you will be there for the taking. And I think he's going to maybe do it, and it just tickles me to death. I mean, I'm so excited to see it. But I told Todd Oden when I was doing an interview with him today, I said, Todd, I believe that the people that come here from around the world, I said, I honestly believe they came here to see you and Larry Noel go head to head in this points battle. And then you take Todd Blackwell, Mike Blackwell, the whole Scenic Tool Company. What a domination. They have not lost an attended race this year.
Well, for our sponsors here today, Lamar Walden Automotive, I mean, the history there. We had Bogan Renfro as our Grand Marshal with Gene Cromer. Just the period correctness that we try to instill in every one of our races really shone through today, and it was just electric. That's all I can say.
This thing was just the perfect drag race today. Thank God above. We certainly got to give our prayer to him, and I think it's time to close her down and let this old place rest for the day.
And Mitch, I would like for you to take us out of here. And folks, don't forget, Mooresville Dragway, September the 29th. Well, you better be there, because it's going to be world-renowned and electric. So take us out of here, Mitch.
I will do that. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for your graces that you have bestowed upon us here today. Again, I give praise for the absolute perfect drag race that we were allowed to have and allowed to witness today, and we know that it all came from you. Dear God, thank you for the people that traveled here from close by, and we thank you for the people that travel from around the world, and we can only hope and pray, dear Lord, that our prayers and our grace that we send up to you, praise that we send up to you at the beginning and at the end of each race, that prayer may well be heard around the world, dear Father, and that someone, as David always says, that may be lost will hear your message, and they will find you, dear God, and they will find their way into your heaven. Again, Father, we thank you so much. In your precious name, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.